What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Wally Outdoors. On today's episode, gonna bring you back to a hunt I had earlier in the year with my friend Tommy during the bow season. We got some snow, which was nice, fresh snow on the ground. We snuck out into a stand that I had hunted early, much earlier in the season, and I did see a couple of deer that morning too. It just didn't work out, but I hadn't hit this spot in like 2 or 3 weeks, so I knew it would be good, fresh, and I'm gonna kind of explain things as they go here to you guys, but you'll get to see what happened the first portion of the morning. I didn't do much videoing prior to going in because it was super loud, and we had to get a second stand hung. So Tommy climbed up and put that stand in, and it was just crazy amount of noise because everything was so frozen. But you'll get to see what happens here. It's pretty cool hunt. Kind of an unfortunate set of circumstances for my buddy Tommy, but it wound up being a great hunt for me toward the end of the day. So check it out, and I think you'll enjoy this one. All right, guys, if you look right here in the center of the screen, I'm going to apologize because I'm holding my phone at this point. I was unable to mount it to anything due to the conditions, but if you look right there in the center of the screen, you'll see the first deer that we had come through. The little fork-horned buck, and you'll see what happens from here. What's up, guys? I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but I'm out here hunting with this guy this morning. We just had a little fork-horn come through. We made a ton of noise coming in here, but obviously we didn't screw things up. We're going to sit tight and see if we can see some more deer. Stay tuned. No, you hit him. You hit him. You hit him. His tail was tucked. You hit him. So at this point, I was pretty excited because I knew he'd hit him. But after I watched the video back, neither of us were very confident, unfortunately, in the shot. He said his tail was tucked. I could hear the spot when you hit him. You hit him high, though. What the? That's crazy. I'm pretty sure that's the same buck. Smaller. Was it yet? Not gonna let I can't believe that just happened. So we're sitting here talking about this buck. I don't know if it's the same deer. It's probably not. He looked a little smaller, but I think it was a smaller. We just had another fork-horn come through, and Tommy just shot him at, what was that, 24 yards? 25 yards? Probably 20 yards. Yeah, 25. We'll just sit here and be quiet. We have no reason to be in a rush. But you definitely hit him, 100%. You hear that pop? Yeah. That was, you went through him. I just think you shot a little high, but I think he's in trouble. What are you gonna say? I couldn't do an interview this morning. I gotta be quiet. Guys, I'm gonna sit down here and be quiet because there's a lot of deer moving around. We might see something else, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so being the experienced deer hunters that we are, we sat for quite a while, till about 10 o'clock, and I think when he shot the deer, it was somewhere around 8, a couple hours. We got down, he stayed in the tree. I checked for his arrow. We looked for blood. No blood on the arrow. Just took a couple of tufts of hair off the top. So Tommy was pretty bummed and disappointed, but the morning was not over yet. It's going to get pretty exciting here for me. Unfortunately, I didn't get the rest of it on film, but you're going to see what happens here in just a sec. Well, the story is long, but we got one down. I'm going to explain all to you what happened here in just a sec. All right, guys, so crazy enough, the story hasn't ended there. Tommy climbs down. We go look for his deer. Obviously, you heard me say we didn't find any blood. You found his arrow, nothing on that. Just a couple of tufts of hair he took off the top of the deer's back. I was hoping that he got just below the spine, but obviously unfortunately, he just kicked the arrow right off the top of his spine, and off the deer went. That deer is going to go off unharmed. Come to find out later, Tommy's sight had something happened to his sight, whether he had bumped it on his own or he had set it off or something. His left to right was perfect. He just shot high. And the deer definitely didn't jump the string when he shot, which you can see when you go back and watch the video. So he was a little bit upset with himself, but that's hunting. That's bow hunting for sure. So to continue on with the story, after we come back, it's like I said, it's closer to 10 o'clock now. We start realizing it's getting later in the morning, and he wanted to go up and pull his stand out that he had hung that morning, which was, off-centered from mine. And so he went up the tree without his bow. And on the way up the tree, I'm down the bottom gathering gear, and my bow's off to my left about 10 yards away. As he's up in the tree, taking the tree stand off, he kind of whistles down to me, and he goes, "Deer." And I couldn't believe it. Like, at first I thought he was kind of pulling or yanking my chain. So I look through the direction he was kind of pointing to, which was the same direction as other deer had come through. And we had just walked through all that. So it just goes to show, guys, you just never know with deer hunting. And with the snow being quiet, kind of walking at that point in the morning because things had softened up, that deer never knew really that we were there, I don't think. So at that point, I just creeped over and I got down on my knees basically and reached for my bow. And as I knock an arrow and look up, I could see the deer standing there at like 30 yards. Initially, I'm looking at it going, oh, that's a nice, a decent-sized doe. I still have a doe tag. What a morning it's been. With all that happened, I'm like, I got to fill this tag. I'm going to try to make an attempt to make a shot. So it was about a 30-yard shot, and the deer's perfectly broadside. So I figured it's now or never. I had a good opening. I drew back, let the arrow fly, and instantly I felt it felt great. The shot felt really good to me. The deer runs off, and he looks down at me from the tree, and he just shaking. We're both shaking our heads like in amazement that this even happened. So I wish so bad I got it on film, but we just weren't prepared for that moment, and shame on me. I should have had my camera either on my bow or something, my GoPro on my head or something. But man, it was just tough conditions, especially for videoing. And my intention that morning was to try to get a video of him shooting a deer. So that was kind of like, not my intention really to shoot one, but it just worked out really well. So needless to say, we pack up all the gear. He comes down. I feel real good about the shot. We creep out of there. We go back to the truck. We put all our gear away. And I said, well, let's just go in and look where the shot was, where the arrow hit. So unbeknownst to me, thinking the shot was perfect, broadside, the deer actually wound up being quartering too, just slightly. So when I come up to the where I actually hit the deer, I found my arrow pretty much right away, and I unfortunately picked it up and could see there was some gut material on it. Instantly, I felt like, oh my God, 2 in a row, what's going on here this morning? Like, just that feeling, But I rewound it in my head, and I kept saying, no, you made a good shot. Something's not right here. And I said, let's just look a little bit. We got blood, but we didn't find it right away. It took me a few minutes. I'm kind of bouncing around and getting really nervous right where, in the area where the deer had been hit. And with the white snow, it should have been a no-brainer. You should have saw blood right away. So it was actually Tommy that picked up the blood trail because there were so many deer tracks in there that morning that it was kind of hard to figure out which deer was mine. And finally, he picked up a little bit of a blood trail, and the deer didn't wind up going like 50, 60 yards. It was perfect. I actually entered perfect, but because it was quartered away, it did get paunch on the way out. So I probably got both lungs and liver into paunch on the way out. It was kind of a tougher angle, I guess, than I originally thought. But either way, the deer did not go far. Deer piled up right there. So I felt so much better. And I'm going to show you a picture of that deer right here. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this one. I wound up being a small little buck. It was a small spike, so it's hard to see those little spikes looking through that brush at ground level. But I'm not disappointed. It was more venison for the freezer. I only filled the 1 buck tag, so I still have 1 left and a doe tag. So I'm going to try to go out tomorrow. So last week here at muzzleloader season, so I figured I'd put this video together because I haven't done anything for you guys in a while. Hope you appreciate it. Hope you liked it. If you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so. Hit the notification bell. And for now, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.